So we are going to learn Metta Sutta. So it says Karaniyamatta Kusalena Yantan Santam Padang Abhisamiccha Sakko Ujucha Sujucha Sujucha Samadhuanati Nani. He who is skilled in working out his own well-being and who wishes to attain the state of calm, Nibbana, should act thus. He should be dexterous, upright, exceedingly upright, obedient, gentle and humble. So if someone wants to attain Nibbana, the skillful person, then these qualities should be there with him. So we are going to mark these qualities in that Vattupama diagram we discussed yesterday. So here in the Vattupama diagram we marked the upright and exceedingly upright. What it means by upright and exceedingly upright? One day when I was meditating, I found that my mind is not getting concentrated. And then I was looking at why my mind is not getting concentrated. And then I found the day before that day, night, that some people came to our house and then I was making jokes to them. So since I trained my mind like that one, so when the mind it become going to concentrate, it go into those jokes. So the jokes are considered as frivolous talks. So then I decided I'm not going to do those frivolous talks because it's harming my meditation. So that day the meditation is over, and then next day when I was meditating, my mind is getting concentrated. And sort of a week later, when I found there was another day that my mind is not getting concentrated. And then that day I found that it was not frivolous talks, but it was harsh speech. So I decided this harsh speech is harming my meditation. I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to give up. So you can see the day by day you add these precepts to you, to a lot, and then you actually follow them. First you approve that they are bad and doing those harsh speech and so on. That is your way. And then you abide by that one. So that is upright. From the upright you come to the exceedingly upright. So you first approve and then you abide by your rule. That the rule that I am not going to do that one. Unless you approve, you would not come to number 2. For example, you know that European people sort of think that it is okay to kill living animals or they are yours. So as far as they are actually thinking like that one, then the killing will continue. Unless they approve that it is a bad thing, then only then you abide by that rule. So upright, then you become exceedingly upright. And then we come to the obedient thing. The obedient part is not the normal obedient thing that we are talking about. This one was explained by Venerable Mahamoggallana in the 15th discourse in the middle end saying Anumana Sutta. And so first he actually explained the opposite of the obedient. The socha is the obedient, the docha is the opposite of that one. And he said that addressing the other bhikkhus, friends, those bhikkhus thus ask thus, let the venerable ones admonish me. I need to be admonished by the venerable ones. Yet if he is difficult to admonish and possesses qualities that make him difficult to admonish, if he is impatient and does not take instruction rightly, then his companions in the holy life think that he should not be admonished or instructed. They think of him as a person not to be trusted. So then Venerable Moggallana explained the qualities make him difficult to admonish. The first quality is that here a bhikkhu has evil wishes and is dominated by evil wishes. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. For example, a monk hold into the temple the alms food and the robes and so on, fond of those things. What Buddha said is give up those things, but this person is holding to those ones. So then that is a quality make him difficult to admonish. Ichcha, tanha, craving is there. And then the next one is here again a bhikkhu loves himself and disparages others. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. Atukkansuko is the Pali word. That means you are putting yourself up. Let us say, for example, that there are two monks, the senior monk and the junior monk. Junior monk see that senior monk is breaking rule of conduct, and then having seen that down out of compassion and go and tell that monk, Bhante, you broke this rule. So the senior monk is saying, you thought of admonishing me, you thought of, you are capable of instructing me, sort of thing. So that is wrong. Even a small child in your house saying that, Dad, Mom, this is wrong. If it is the truth, then you need to abide by that one. Otherwise, you are throwing out the truth. So there's so much damage in that one. And again, if someone is angry, you are not going to instruct him because he is getting more and more anger out of that one. So this is another quality. Again, yesterday we analyzed this envy, stinginess, the derogation and disparaging. If those things are there, then he is not obedient. And if these things are not there, Venerable Moggallana said that that person is obedient. So these are the qualities that one need to get rid of to become the obedient. So this one is a very big quality. Only if you have 1 and 2, then you can come to over here. When you become obedient, and if you know one more Dhamma, that is every perception is sick, then you can stop thinking. If you want to think, you can think. Otherwise, you can stop thinking. It's a big thing over here. When you become obedient, then you become gentle. So for me to explain what is meant by this gentleness, I need to explain the term next to it, that the courteous over here. So the opposite of that one is the impoliteness, rudeness. Is called pagabba in Pali. So let's look at the opposite of this courteous thing. That is this rudeness. And Mahanidesa says that there are 3 kinds of impoliteness: bodily impoliteness, the verbal impoliteness, and the mental impoliteness. The bodily impoliteness is that, the monks has got an order. The senior monk, the first one, and then the next one is the junior monk, and so on. So this person is breaking that order, that he is going in front of the senior monk. So that is bodily impoliteness. And then there is this verbal impoliteness. Let us say this lay person, so the bhikkhus are there in a certain place. This monk is going there without any invitation, without asking anyone. He is going and preach Dhamma to them. Even the Dhamma has to be preached with an invitation. Buddha preached Dhamma with the invitation of Sampati Mahaprabhu. So otherwise there is this impoliteness. I saw this verbal impoliteness in a meeting in Australia. I went to a meeting, 9 o'clock meeting start. 5 minutes to 9 o'clock, someone in the group started his talk. So the chairman was there. For 20 minutes, he didn't let chairman utter a word. Kept on talking. So that is verbal impoliteness. If there is a chairman, you should let him do the job. And only you have to answer that if you ask a question by the chairman, then you should be answering. Otherwise, it's the verbal impoliteness. And then there is this mental impoliteness. Let us say there is this king and the servant. So servant is respectful of the king and treating him well. And one day, let us say this, both king and the servant decided that we will become monks. So when they became monks, now the servant is thinking that I am equivalent to the king now. By becoming a monk, what did he achieve? The kingship. So that is the mental impoliteness. So why would you actually put yourself up like that one? It is because that you are thinking that the king is actually having a good time. King's royal family, they are having, really good feeling. They enjoy the life, and that sort of thinking is there. So I am now, by becoming a monk, I am in that club, the king's club. So then So you are actually putting yourself up. Again, let us say someone is not a preacher of Dhamma, and this person is thinking that I am equivalent to the preacher of Dhamma. Or the monks who are going on this alms round, that people sort of respect them, and then this person is never going in the alms round, eat from the temple only, but this person thinks that I am equal to those ones go in the alms round, Pindapata. And then again, that let us say that you do not have the attainment of this jhana concentration, and you can just go there once or so, but the attainment is not there. But he thinks that he is equal to those ones who have attained to this first, second, third, fourth jhana concentration. So it is like this. Let us say that you meditate, and then for a millisecond or so, you got the rapture in your head, and you felt it. By the time you had the rapture, you didn't have any issues because that you are actually meditating. And then after your breakfast or so, you think, today I went to the first jhana. Now who is in the world that in the first jhana? Brahma. Brahma is in the Brahma world. So I am now equivalent to the Brahma. This person after death might go to hell because he could not maintain those attainment. The Brahma managed to maintain it. That's why he is the Brahma. So similarly, the second jhana up to the eighth jhana, neither perception nor non-perception, not having that attainment, samapatti, he thinks that he is actually equivalent to one has got attained. So that is this mental impoliteness. So now we discussed bodily impoliteness, verbal impoliteness, and mental impoliteness. And if you do not have bodily impoliteness and the verbal impoliteness, then you are gentle. The mental impoliteness can be there. If you don't have the bodily one and the verbal one, then you are gentle. When you are gentle, then you become humble. Otherwise, you become arrogant. So the gentle one become humble. Why that person in the office was starting stalking, and because of the arrogance. His own arrogance is put in that he thinks that I am the one who should be speaking and telling these things. So that is humble. So we come up to the number 5. Remember, yesterday we talked how the arrogance comes to arise. One case we were talking about that 16-year-old girl, and then I said the general condition for that one is the lack of virtue. Now you can see we start with the virtue over here. There are 7 precepts when we talk about the upright, exceedingly upright. Here you are refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. So bodily ones go on 3. And then there's verbal misconduct, lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks, and slander. Those 4 are 4 plus 3, 7 are removed with the upright and exceedingly upright. So then you come to the obedience. This knowledge part is the important one. So you come to the obedience, suvacha, and from that one you become gentle, and then you can see through the gentleness you come to the humbleness. So this virtue part is there, so you are not going to become arrogant, you become humble. So we come up to number 5 now. So let us go back to the discourse. Here next it says, Santussakocha Subarocha Appakichocha Sallo Pravutti Santrindayocha Nipakocha Appagabbo Kulesu Anamuginta. Contented, easily supportable. Santussakocha, contented. Are we contented? We are not, isn't it? When you eat, when you have something, then you are thinking, maybe I will have some sort of tasty thing like sauce or something to make it tastier. So it is not contented. If the salt is missing, you are going to go and put the salt in. A monk who is going in the alms round, that person is contented because whatever thing offered, he is taking. He is not asking, let me have, that curry from your house if it is available or things like that. Easily supportable. This Subarocha means easily supportable. Easily supportable means that if a monk is using all that's 8 requisites. Monk has got this 8 requisites like these 3 pieces of raw material and some sort of razor blade and so on and a thread. So if he is using only those things, Buddha is saying that person is like a bird. Bird, whenever it is going, it takes those wings with it. Likewise, this monk is taking this raw material, 8 requisite, and today that person is sleeping underneath the tree, another day maybe a temple, another day in the forest group, anywhere like that. So that person is very easy to support because if you give him some food, that's good enough. Nothing else needed. But if the monk is old into the temple, then you need to maintain the temple and as well as the monk. Both are there. That's how Buddha lived. Buddha did not stay in a Jetavanaram or one place, and he was actually traveling all the time. While the snow is falling, also he was sleeping underneath the tree. So Appakicca means with few responsibilities. If you don't have few responsibilities, that means you are busy. Some people really love to say that I am busy. So when you say busy, I am busy, then it looks like that you are a very important person because quite a lot to do, an important person. So, and that means you are actually not making any progress. That's what it is. No spiritual progress at all. We ourselves make ourselves, busy. One good example is that in Sri Lanka these days we can see if you are in a one-story house and the next door neighbor, because of his house is broken or something, he made two-story house. Now this person in this house is thinking that I will make a three-story house, going up above the other person's one. So to do that one, you need to have a bigger loan. Previously, this person is working 8 hours, now he is working 12 hours. I met someone like that one, and he said that he could not sleep at night time because he was afraid that the bank will come and take the house. If you miss one payment or two, then you get the warning and then you lose the house. He said only happiness he had was when he went to the temple underneath the bo tree. The bow leaves are, shaking and making a noise. He said that was the only happiness he had in this time. And then underneath the bo tree, he decided somehow I will pay this loan as quick as possible and get rid of this pain. He managed to do that, but I found some others who could not do that. Their house was taken by the bank. So there was this competition and they were doing these things. What we need to do, we need to look at the Buddha, how the Buddha lived. You see, Buddha is the person, when he was the Bodhisattva still to be enlightened, he gave quite a lot of wealth. It says 84,000 gold, 84,000 lands, and it's going on the 84,000 scale. So that we haven't given that much. So that person who has given that much after the enlightenment, if you look at the room that he was sleeping, is just there's a bed, you can actually put the leg over there. You can't even walk inside that one. So if Buddha can live like that one, person who has done so much generous things, and why can't we? If your house is not getting wet, look at when you are sitting down, you are living in a sort of a 1 meter square. Rest of the house is in your mind. So if your house is not getting wet, if it is more, that does not matter. You live. And if your vehicle, the 4 wheels are rotating so that you can go to work, then that is good enough. You don't need to go for Benz car, the bigger car and so on. So if you are going for a bigger car and so on, then you need to have a bigger loan and then quite a lot, time you have to spend on those things. So save that time and then meditate and get rid of this suffering. That's what we have to do. So we need to make We got to have few responsibilities, not many. We got to have a simple livelihood. Sallavakuviti means simple livelihood. Control in the senses. Prudent, courteous and not hanker after association with families. Controlling the senses is the Santrindriya. So we are going to mark that one in that diagram. You can see the control in the senses is marked over here. But where we were in the number 5, humble. So that means that I become humble is the condition for me to go control my faculties. If I am not humble, that means I am arrogant. If I am arrogant, then I can't control my senses. How do we know that one? Let us take a simple example. How do we become arrogant? A 16-year-old girl, if she is beautiful, she is arrogant. But how does she know that she is beautiful? What is the measurement? Some people think that if you go in front of a mirror, then you can think that you are sort of beautiful. But that is your measurement. Anyone can go in front of a mirror and say that I am beautiful. So the measurement for measuring that you are beautiful is that other people are looking at you. So I can remember I was watching long time ago that some in the news that someone, an actress, a beautiful actress, used to be beautiful actress, was interviewed, and then she was telling that if no one is looking, then there is no point living like that. So the person become arrogant, and by looking at, others are looking at me. That's how the measurement is. For the 16-year-old girl, then she has to look at the others to notice that they are looking at me. So what happens when you look? Then you see the other person's sign and features. This place is like this place is like that, and so on. So you can see you can't control senses. So becoming arrogant means you can't control the senses. But if you are humble, if you know that your body is, excrement, urine and that one, what is there to look? So then you can control this one. Although we say this one in these terms, that the Dhamma is sort of deeper than this one, which I am going to explain using this particular diagram. This diagram was constructed to discuss this Sabbasa Sutra, the taint discourse, and then here I found some connection. If you have taint of views, then you get the taint of sensual desire. And this one was mentioned in Patthana Pali 3, Abhidhamma Pitaka. The Patthana Pali is, there are 5 volumes, and one volume contains about 2000 pages. No one has ever translated into any language. It's available on Pali language only. It took about 2 days for me to find this. Very important link. I also found when there is this taint of views, then we get the taint of ignorance. When there is taint of ignorance, you get the taint of views. And again, from the taint of views, taint of ignorance, you get the taint of sensual desire. From the taint of sensual desire, you get the taint of ignorance. And this taint of existence is alone, isolated, then it is actually producing the taint of ignorance. You don't need all these links at once. For this discussion, we need only one link. If there is taint of views, then we get the taint of sensual desire. What is the effect of this one? The consequence of having this line means that, you meditate in the morning, you say these 32 parts of the body, dead body and so on. And then you get dressed and then going to work. When you are going to work, you see someone so beautiful, and then you say this person is so beautiful. And little while later, you come to your mindfulness and think, what am I saying? This morning I was telling that these 32 parts of the body, excrement, urine and so on, Now, isn't my meditation working for me? Now I am saying this one experiment is beautiful. That's what I'm saying here, isn't it? So then he was thinking, although that person is thinking like that, it's like there's someone inside telling, look, otherwise you are going to miss the chance to see that person. Who is that person? That is this taint of view. Because you have perceived, touched those forms before, and now there is this taint of views depending on those things, and it is pushing you to look. In other words, when you look at someone, then there are two people hitting you. One is the sign and features of that person. The two, the taint of views inside, pushing you to have a look and so on. So if I am humble, then I have the less taint of views. So the less taint of views means I have the less taint of sensual desire. So no one is pushing inside you to have a look. So then if I don't look, if I look down, then that means I can control, because no one is pushing you. So that is what it means over here. Since I am humble, I have a less taint of views. Therefore, I have the less taint of sensual desire. Now, two people are not hitting me, only one thing, that is the sign and features of that one. So if I control the senses, I can, get rid of that particular form. So you might have heard this gatha, the controlling this body and your words and then the mind, and this is really great in the Dhammapada Gatha. Or else I can tell you, when I was working in Canberra, I used to walk in a lake area in the lunchtime, and one day while I was actually walking, I was meditating. The meditation that we were doing yesterday morning about this suffering. You don't have to sit down to think it is suffering, because in the office I sit down for a long time and it is painful, and that's why I am actually walking outside, isn't it? And so I can go to jhana concentration as well. One day I found that it is not possible to walk here because it's going to rain. So I decided to go to the shopping mall. So when I was entering the shopping mall, I was thinking, in the lake area only a couple of jogging people are there. Over here, there are so many people with the, not dressed well, and I have to control my senses, and I should look down. For you to look down also, you got to have guts. These days people are saying, you look this way, look that way, say hi, bye, and then go. So looking down is not good. In my office, someone actually told me that I saw you walking to the office today, frustrated, looking down. And then I was smiling at him, and then because I know I am really happy walking in that way. And you see, if that person is talking to someone and looking at you, you think that they are actually talking about me. Always when two people are talking in the office, that you think that they are talking about the work that I did. So what is the guts that you have? What's the strength you have at that particular time? The strength you have is that the virtue. And this was told to me by God Sumanasaman. He said, check your virtue at that time. The virtue in the Eightfold Path. Did I lie? Did I have harsh speech? Did I have slander? Did I have frivolous talks? If you are pure on that count, then you got the strength. And then again, you check whether did I kill? Did I steal? Did I have sexual misconduct? If you have not done that one, so you are pure on that 7 counts. So that is the strength. If you have this strength, you can be anywhere in the world. Among the kings, queens, or anywhere. You can be anywhere in the world, and you have the strength. This is the strength. So I have that strength. So I decided it does not matter whether office crowd see me or anyone see me. I will look down, and my walk, I got the effort. And as soon as I got that effort to my mind, and the rapture started flowing in my head and flowing through the body, I walk 40 minutes, skipping those people, not looking at them. The 40 minutes rapture was flowing. And then I went to the office and I was thinking, this is how I walk today. And then the rapture started flowing again. So for me, then behaving like that one is a prudent thing to do. So that is what it is, Santrindriyochanipakocha, the prudent. When you control the senses, you become prudent. Nipaka. So that means you understand it is suffering to see. What if I see? When I see, I get the covetousness. This person is beautiful. Next millisecond, I find some sort of a defect, like a pimple or something in that face, or some body part. Then you can see you get the sadness. So the sadness is included in the suffering. So why would I get into that suffering state? So then you become prudent. When you become prudent, then you become courteous. So remember, we were analyzing this one, the impoliteness. There were bodily impoliteness, verbal impoliteness, and mental impoliteness. So when we become gentle, we got rid of the bodily impoliteness, the verbal impoliteness. And the mental impoliteness shows that this person is thinking that he is equivalent to the king. The servant and the king became monks and they think that I am equivalent to the king. Why would you do that? I mean, that the difference will emerge if they both disrobe, then the king becomes the king, the servant becomes the servant. Why that person is thinking? He is thinking that king is having a real good time. But you need to ask the king, are you having a good time, sir? He will tell. You see, there was this discourse where there was a monk who was sitting down underneath the tree. And always while sitting down underneath the tree, he is saying, what a pleasure. Then the other monks found this person is always saying this one. So that means he is not doing the Brahmavihara. He is thinking this one is a pleasurable thing. So they informed this one to the Buddha. And Buddha asked that monk to come and ask, are you saying such a thing? He said, yes. Why are you saying such a thing? Then he said, Bhante, addressing the Buddha as Bhante, said, before I become a monk, I was a king. And as the king and I was living in the palace was guarded by the guards. But I was afraid that someone will come and kill me. And then while I was inside with the queen inside the room was guarded by the guards outside. But still I was afraid that they can come and kill me. Today I don't have anyone, so I sit down underneath the tree without the fear. That is my pleasure. You see, when President of America or President of Sri Lanka, when they are going, and then the guards are going in front of them, they are going through this with the bulletproof car. Sometimes they don't even travel through that. Kings, if you hear the stories about the kings and the sultans, for example, you can see they are very afraid that someone will come. Sometimes the killing occurred from the royal family itself inside. So I heard one story. I have heard many stories, and one story that the president wanted to go to the third floor, but maybe someone accidentally pressed the button to go to the first floor. And while it is going down, then the guards, that holding him, covering him, and thinking that, as soon as the door open of the lift, and they are to shoot him. So they are living with so much fear. Sometimes, I know one sultan, people can't find where he is. There's a boat and there's the palace. So is he in the palace or is he in the boat? Every day people are cooking in the boat. The boat is a big thing, and they cook it and they actually consume themselves because they after 1 o'clock or so they get the call, king is not coming here. The people think that this king may be here. So they are afraid that they can be killed by that one. So I'm talking about the story today. One of the sultans, that's how he is living. So you see, you don't have that sort of fear. You can live in your house. People know that you are there and you don't have that one. But you have other fears, but you don't have such a fear. And I will tell you another story. When people are living in a two-story building or something like that one, have a good car and so on, the people think that they are having a good time. I will tell you a story about a beggar that in 1960s in Sri Lanka. The beggar can sleep very well. He is sleeping underneath the tree. And then in the night time, if he wakes up, and then he can see someone in a two-story building, a person, owner of that house, is going here and there, not sleeping. So while going on the begging round, he asked that owner, "Why aren't you sleeping, sir, night time?" Then he did not say anything, went inside, took 100 rupee note and gave it to this beggar. The 100 rupee note in 1960s is a really big money. So that day, beggar, night time, going to sleep, put the 100 rupee note on the hand and then put underneath the pillow and sleeping onto that side. And then all of a sudden he wakes up. On the moonlight he sees whether 100 rupee note is still there and put into the other hand and putting underneath the pillow and sleeping to that side. Again he wakes up, look at the 100 rupee note. The whole night he could not sleep. So when he was actually going in the alms round, begging round, then the owner of the house asked, "Did you sleep last night?" "I could not sleep last night." He said, "That is my problem as well. I saw this one. I saw this one when I was working in Brunei. Next to my house was a family from UK, a British people. And his wife is telling me that night time, her husband is not sleeping, walking here and there in the garden, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, smoking cigarettes and so on." And I asked why. Then she said that they have invested 5% of their money in the stock market. They still have 95% with them. And the stock market has fallen. Now this guy can't now sleep. He died early. He did not live. Didn't make up to 50 even. So there's someone who is living in a big house and having a good car and so on, then people think they are actually really having a good time. They are not. They are just thinking that they are having a good time. That's all. So the prudent person knows, the king has got excrement, I got the excrement. So there's no point saying that I myself equal to king and putting myself up. So he's not going to do that. And he is also not going after king's family. King's family members, they are having a good time. So that is what is called not hanker after association with families. This one, number 9, is completely related to this feeling. Why you are putting yourself up to the royal level means the royals are having a good time. They have good feeling, they enjoy food and so on. And they are actually frightened. That's what it is. But you are actually thinking they are having a good time. If you have a simple life, you can even enjoy the food as well. The person, beggar person or someone, and the poor person, he is eating sambal and the rice. He does not have many curries, but he enjoy that one curry and that one. But when you have many curries, 8 or 9, around the plate, you don't know what to eat, right? So you can't enjoy at all. So you are just thinking that if you have that so many, then you can enjoy. You can't actually enjoy. So we are just simply thinking that that the king is having a good time. That's all. So the good feeling. I mean, what is the feeling you get if you get 40 curries on your plate, and which one you are going to eat? The kings are eating like that one. Even in the Dalada Malika, that they are actually offering to the Buddha with the 40 curries. I mean, if the Buddha was living, Buddha would be thinking, what is this? So, because the king used to eat like that one. So, that going after the feeling. So this person is not hankering after association with families. This family is talking about the feeling class. So now we have a look at the two gathas of the discourse. So the next one is that the Nachakuddam samacare kinchena vinyu pareyu bodeyu sukino va kemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitartha. Let him not perform the slightest wrong for which wise men may rebuke him. Let him think, may all beings be happy and safe. May they have happy minds. So this person is now spreading the loving kindness to all the living beings. So here, when we say may all beings be happy and safe, may they have happy minds. Sukhita chitta is the happy mind. So in this case, that not harming living beings, not killing them, then you are leaving out those things, and then you spread the loving kindness and giving up these bad verbal things, 4-letter words and so on. Then with the good words, that you have this loving kindness. And then also from the mind, you are not thinking that let this guy be dead. So you are thinking let no harm come to this person. And so that way you actually spreading the metta. So it says, let him not perform the slightest wrong for which wise men rebuke. The wise men never say this hankering after association with families is a good thing. It's a bad thing. They know that is bad thing. Normal person is not saying this is a bad thing. The hankering after association with families, normal person, for that one, he does not matter. But for a wise man, this is not a good thing. So this one, the Sukhita Chitta, or may they have happy minds, is marked in this diagram. May all beings be happy over here. So now where we were in number 9. So in other words, number 9 is the qualification for us to go into number 10. Without number 9, you can't do the number 10. So how do we know that one? Let us look at a simple example. You know that there was a war in Sri Lanka. And then at that particular time, that one Tamil leader died. When that person died, then a group of people said, it is good that guy is dead. Another group of people said, oh, our leader is dead. So leave out those two groups in the two parts, and you just change their family structure. The family, whatever the family they are belonging to, like a carpet, you are changing the carpet, put into this side and take the carpet to the other side. So now what they are saying, those people who said, it is good this guy is dead, now they are saying, oh, our leader is dead. Those people who were telling that our leader is dead, now they are saying, it is good that he is dead. So you see, the family is the problem. When you get into that family thing, you associate with the family, then you can't spread the loving kindness. You see, this person, those people who were spreading the loving kindness, those who were saying that it is good this guy is dead, and they are spreading the loving kindness, as soon as that Tamil Tiger leader's picture comes in, then there is a hole in the metta bucket. You can't spread the metta anymore. Loving kindness won't stand. So was there any loving kindness in that case? It is just mere words, isn't it? What they were saying, it is whenever our kind is good, our kind is happy, then that is metta, and there is no metta in it. So now you can see this one is the precursor. We got to have this one to spread the loving kindness. Although we say this one using that example, the Dhamma part is a bit heavier over here. Not hankering after association with families means it is not mine. So if it is not mine, then means you get the right view. When you say it is mine, you get the wrong view. If it is not mine, then you get the right view. If you get the right view, then you get the right thought. Remember, right thought proceeds from the right view. So then you get the thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of non-harm. So you are going through the non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion path. So it is in the greed path that we go and lie, and also we steal. So we are getting rid of that one. And we are following the non-hate path. It is in the hate path that we have this harsh speech, slander, as well as killing. Since I am following non-hate path, I will be giving up killing as well as harsh speech and slander. And I am following through the non-delusion path. It is in the delusion path we have frivolous talks as well as the sexual misconduct. So you give up that one. In other words, we have now come to 8 skill state of the mind. There are 10 skill state of the mind. What are they? First, we need to get rid of these bodily ones. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. When you are doing it, you are not skilled, you are unskilled. If you are not doing that one, you are skillful. And then you get rid of the verbal misconduct. Lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks and slander. So now it is 7. And what are the things we are doing from the mind? The covetousness, the ill will, and the wrong view. Now, how do we get the wrong view? When you hanker after associating with families, then you get the wrong view. This is mine. If I am not doing that one, I will eliminate the wrong view. I get the right view. Now you can see the right view plus bodily actions, verbal actions. The bad ones is, so you get the 8 skill state of the mind. So you have 8 skill state of the mind, and then now you can spread the loving kindness. It makes sense, because if you use 4-letter word and then blame someone, can you say next moment, let you be well? You use the 4-letter word and then you say let you be well. It doesn't go. You are stabbing someone, killing. While killing, can you say let you be well? It won't go. But if you are not doing killing, stealing and so on, then you can spread loving kindness with the 8 skill state of the mind. Now you are spreading the loving kindness. But this has to be coupled with another Dhamma path. That Dhamma path is, because here you are uplifting above. You see, here not hankering after association with families means not mine. Then you get the thought of renunciation, thought of non-malice, thought of non-harm. But you need to cross to the left side of the first one over here. How do you cross over there? There is this twofold thought discourse in the middle end saying. It says that Buddha is saying when he was a bodhisattva, still to be enlightened, he got a sensual thought. Then he was thinking that sensual thought has arisen in me and it is harming me, harming others, harming both, and it is destructive of intuitive wisdom. Then when he was actually thinking like that one, because bodhisattva does not like for the destruction of the intuitive wisdom. What is the intuitive wisdom over here? It is not hankering after association with families. The wise ones are saying this is bad. So therefore he is not hankering. So since the bodhisattva does not like the destruction of that intuitive wisdom, it is the valuable thing for him. So the sensual thought subsided. Similarly, ill will thought and the harming thought. When it has arisen, he knew that it has arisen, it is harming me, harming others, and harming both, and it destructive of intuitive wisdom. So this intuitive wisdom is not happy to destroy that one. So the harming thought subsided. So not hankering after associating with families means not mine. Therefore, you get the thought of renunciation, thought of non-violence, thought of non-harm. And since you couple that one with the twofold thought discourse, so you are coming back to left side, and then now you are saying I don't want sensual thought, ill thought, harming thought. Now, so that you can go through eightfold path. So then you are now qualified. You have 8 precepts, and then 8 skill state of the mind, and now you are spreading the loving kindness. May all be happy. So let's go back to the discourse again. Now he is spreading the loving kindness. to all the beings. Ye kechipana bhutatti tasavata va anavasesa digavaye mahantava majjima rasakanu kutula dittavaye va dittaye chadure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Whatever living beings there may be, feeble or strong. You see, the diga means long ones, like snakes. Diga means the long ones. Mahanta means that the big ones like elephants. Majjima means like these cows, the horses. And ditta means that you can see. And the aditta, that means you cannot see. Living beings. Dure, avidure, the far and near. And bhuta means those who are born. The sambhavesiva, those yet to be born. In other words, that those living beings in the mind-made body are also included here. May all beings have happy minds. So you see that this person is now spreading the loving kindness with the 8 skill state of the mind. Now he sees a sample of little creatures, the big creatures and so on. You see the value of this particular one. You see, one day when you are going to work, you see cow dung is there and the worms are there. The worms are in the morning they are eating and happily and so on. In the afternoon when you come back, because of the sun's rays is completely dried out, then the worm is gone as well. And the mosquitoes, they live only 7 days. So while walking, then you actually see a sample of death. The creatures are dying, the big ones, the small ones and so on. Now if they are dying, then would there be any conceit about living? You wouldn't get conceit because there is death. So keep that one in your mind and then look at the next one. What Buddha is saying. And then Buddha said, Naporo paran nikupeta nyati manyeta kattachinam kanche vyarosana patikasanya nyanya manyasa dukkha. Let him not deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. In anger or ill will, let him not wish another ill. The nikupeta over here means there's another word in Pali, it's called vanchaya. That means you are doing the fraud. So this person is not thinking, and if you see that sample of death, the living beings, the human beings, you can't see every day that they are dying. You need to get the message that this person died and so on. But the creatures, little ones and the big ones, you can see dogs and old snakes and so on, the sample. So in that case, then you are not thinking it is a gain for me to kill animal and live. Animals, like having a chicken farm and killing, and then I make my living out of that one. If you really know about this death, then you don't think. Let's say you have a chicken farm, and all of a sudden next day, all of them die, because of a sickness or something. No, it's not a gain. So then he understands it is not so. And on the other hand, this nati manyeta, in the Pali it says na atikka mitta manyeta. That means you are actually putting yourself up, loud praise and put yourself up. And if you actually know, then the living beings are dying, then you don't get that conceit. You are not going to put yourself up in that case. And vyarosana patikasanya. So those 2 words are marked over here in the diagram. In anger, let him not wish another ill. Vyarosana. And the patikasanya, in ill will, let him not wish another ill. You see, now we come to number 11. In anger, let him not wish another ill. Remember, we were talking about yesterday, the anger has got the permanency associated with it. Because we are spinning with the feeling, the anger has got the permanency. Now, when you see that sample of death, the sample, you are trying to spread the loving kindness. By trying to do that one, you see that the ants are dying, the mosquitoes are dying, the worms are dying, the human beings are dying. So then, there is no permanency. Since there is no permanency, then you can get rid of the anger. In the anger, you are saying this person is harming me. But if you know this person is next moment, that person is going to die, would you care? There won't be any anger. So the permanency is removed. The anger can be removed. when the anger is removed, then you can remove the ill will. It is like, when you are weighing things, then you got a small thing to measure, maybe 1 kilo weight, or then so you see that this one is not good enough, so you put 2 kilos or 3 kilos weight on to top of that one to weigh it. So when we have the big one on the top of the small one, you can't actually see the small one. You need to remove the big one to see the small one. So likewise, when you remove the anger, then you can see there is this ill will. So having known that one, then you are saying, in ill will, let him not wish another ill. So that can be removed. So is this word patika sanya. Patika means when you have the I and the form, whenever these two meets, what you get is the patika. Because you are going for aversion. Why? The first instance you see that person, you see this person is beautiful. Abhijja, covetousness come to your eyes. And the next millisecond, you find the fault, the pimple or something. So you get the sadness. That is in the second round. And that point onwards, what you get is the aversion. So that the patika is there. So you go into the ill will state. Now this person, remember, he started with the controlling these things as well. So with the ill will, he is not wishing another ill. So the ill will be removed. So that means we come to 9 skill state of the mind. Remember, the mind, the bad things we do from the mind, the covetousness, the ill will, and the wrong view. So the wrong view got rid of, number 9. Ill will is gone, number 12. Now what is left is covetousness, isn't it? So now keep in mind that one, and let's go to this next gatha in the discourse. Now this person is spreading the loving kindness. Mata yata niyam puttam ayusayika puttana manurakke evampi sabba bhutesu manasambhave apariman. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so let one cultivate a boundless love towards all beings. Just as a mother would protect her only child. How would a mother protect her only child? You see, if a mother is carrying a baby and going over a bridge, and if the baby is fallen to the river, mother would jump. Even if she can't swim, she would jump to save the baby. So from her life, it's very important, these words, but Buddha says. So like that, he cultivates the boundless love towards all beings. How would the mother sort of think about the child, about the baby? Mother never think, let this baby be dead. She always thinks, let no harm come to this baby. So in other words, this mother has got the mental purity, the mental actions, purified mental actions towards her own baby. When a mother is uttering a speech to the baby, she is not having this harsh speech. In other words, the mother has got purified verbal actions towards her own baby. And when the mother is giving something to the baby, she is not thinking of giving a poison to put inside the mouth, or a knife to put inside the mouth. So in other words, the mother has got the purified physical actions towards her own baby. So likewise, Buddha is asking to spread the loving kindness to all the living beings with purified physical, verbal and mental actions. So for example, if you are not thinking, let my baby be dead, let no harm come to the baby, so you have purified mental actions towards your baby, then you got to have the same thing for your next door neighbor's baby as well. You should be thinking, let this baby be dead. If you are not uttering harsh speech for your baby, you have purified verbal actions towards your baby, then you should not be uttering harsh speech for the next door neighbor's baby as well. You got to have the purified verbal actions. If you are not giving any poison or knife or anything to put inside the mouth for your baby, and you have purified physical actions towards your baby, then you got to have the same thing for the next door neighbor's baby as well. That means you are not going to give one poison or knife or anything to harm that one. So for your next door neighbor, you take your garden. Your garden has got families as well. Worm families, isn't it? The father, mother and so on, they are there. So if I ask you whether you are killing any animals, living beings, you say no. If I ask you whether do you plant those flower plants and so on, you say yes. So if you are doing that one, that means those worms are getting killed. So you see, you got a big body and the worm is about 2 inches, 3 inches small, isn't it? So with that big body, and if you do not have any loving kindness for that 2-inch little bit person, then what is the loving kindness you have? There's no loving kindness. It's just a mere illusion that you have the loving kindness. Just imagine your baby is underneath that soil. If the next door neighbor is coming up with some sort of equipment to dig, what would the mother do? She will put her body in front of that one and say, "Don't dig. My baby is inside." This is what it means. Protect her child with her life. That's what Buddha meant. If your baby is there, you are not going to do that one. So do not do that one to the others as well. So why we actually dig and plant those flowers and things like that? You see, because my right side neighbor has got these nice flowers and so on, and they are having a good time. And my left side neighbor is also having a flowery people. In front also they are living like that. So let me include in that class. So in other words, you are hankering after association with families. That is your family structure you are talking about. So in that case, we forget that little guy inside that. So what Buddha is saying, spread the loving kindness with the purified these bodily actions, verbal actions and the mental actions towards the entire world. Without it, there is no loving kindness. So now we have learned up to this Gatha. And the next one, the Mettancha Sabba Lokas Manasambhave Aparimana Uddang Adocha Tiriyancha Asambadang Averang Asapattam. Let him radiate boundless love towards the entire world, above, below, and across, unhindered, without ill will, without enmity. Above, Uddam, you can take, if you want some sort of a demarcation, the ending point, you can say the Akanita Brahma realm because it has got some sort of a form. Beyond that one also Brahma worlds are there. Space is infinite, consciousness is infinite, but if you want some sort of a measurement to go up to, then you can consider Akanita Brahma realm. For the below, Adocha means below, that is, let's take the earth. So across, in between Akanita Brahma realm and the human world, there are other planets, the hells as well as the divine worlds, the Brahma worlds and so on. So unhindered, without ill will, sambadang aviram, without enmity, you are spreading the loving kindness to the entire world with the purified physical, verbal and mental actions. Tittancharan nisinnova sayanova yavatassa vigatamiddu etan satin aditteya brahmametam viharang itama. While you are standing, walking, sitting or reclining, as long as he is awake, let him develop this mindfulness. This they say is the noble living. Brahmameta. Brahmameta is noble living. So what is it? You've got to have the mindfulness. The mindfulness that I am a person with the purified mental, verbal and physical actions that I spread the loving kindness. You see, we have to be careful. Maybe you are making a mathematical sum and your focus is to that mathematical sum. While that time, maybe a mosquito is biting over here. Without knowing, you come and kill that one. And so we got to have the mindfulness. And also, when you are preaching Dhamma, also you have to be careful. Your hand may be pointing at somebody else's body. Look at the Buddha's mindfulness. He was using the hand like that one, not pointing at anybody else's body. So the mindfulness to that level. So the mindfulness here, that I am a person who is spreading the loving kindness with purified verbal, mental and physical actions. And the next gatha, dittincha anupakamma silava dassanen sampanna. Kamesu viniyakeda nahijatu gabbaseyam punureti. Not falling into wrong views, being virtuous, endowed with insight, lust in the senses discarded. Verily never again will he return to conceive in a womb. You see, endowed with wisdom. What was the wisdom? Along the way, you found over here that hankering after association with families is not a good thing. So there is this wisdom. Remember, we were talking about the intuitive wisdom as well. So that wisdom is there. So he saw this one is bad thing. Remember, our problem, our barrier to have the spreading the loving kindness is not having this particular quality. If you are hanker after associating with families, then we can't. So he went through this knowledge path. He saw this one. So this last one is marked over here, not falling into wrong views, being virtuous. You see, we started with the virtue, 1 and 2. Here we have this 3 kind of bodily misconduct we give up, and we got the 3 kind of good physical conduct. And again, we got rid of the 4 bad conduct by words and going to the good verbal conduct. So getting rid of those things. Now, we went through this knowledge path. You become upright, so become obedient, and then you become gentle. So therefore you become humble, and then you are controlling the senses. And then from that on you become prudent, courteous, and then you are not associated with the families. So we come to the 8th skill state of the mind. And then you sow the sample and spread the loving kindness to all the living beings. Let they be happy. And then having seen those death and so on, then you remove the ill will. So now you got 9 skill state of the mind. What is left now? The last one, abhijja, covetousness. But why do we get covetousness? We get covetousness because we are not discarding the lust in the senses. Because of the lust, you get the covetousness. So now you are removing that one. That is this number 14 written over here. The text is written over here because there is no space. It got to be here. So lust in the senses discarded, that you are now going to include. Then let me have the non-covetousness. Let me not have the covetousness. So you make your virtue thorough here. You started with the virtue. Now you are going to include the mental ones, good mental ones in your virtue. Not to have those bad ones. Lust in the senses discarded. And I am not going to return to conceive in a womb again. You see, if you are going to a womb, that means you are going to have sexual misconduct as well. In other words, you are destroying this number 9. That it is not mine. Now you are going to claim that it is mine. So you don't want to do that one. So you are not going to go into the mother's womb. If you go there, then the suffering will start again with the physical nutriment. The meditation we did this little while ago. And then you get the problem again. So I'm not going to go there to a canal of urine and excrement. So that is this Metta Sutta. So how do we do the meditation? Most of you know about the Metta Sutta. So you remember. Even if you do not know, you can see that these 15 parts are written here. So you go through that one. So how do we start? We start with upright and exceedingly upright. Recall to your mind the virtue that the killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and you are saying you are not going to have them at this particular moment, do you give up? And again, lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks, and slander. Even a person, even a farmer can do this meditation. Let's say, farmer is digging, therefore, those little creatures will be killed. But by the time of meditation, is he a farmer? By the time of meditation, he is not a farmer. He is just a person like you meditating. And in the meditation time, if he give up, killing and so on, and who knows, the next moment while he is meditating, he might die. So in that case, he will be going to Brahma world or somewhere. He won't going to go to that farming thing. So anyone can do this one. The moment that you are actually doing the meditation, that's all you do, nothing else. I am a doctor, I'm a farmer and so on. All those things are not there. So anyone can do. So you take your precepts at that particular time and take a strong determination, I'm not going to break them. And then you become obedient. So when you come to obedient, what you need to think, the meditation we did yesterday, the second meditation, that we try to get rid of envy, stinginess, derogation, and disparaging. So those things are bad. So we were trying to analyze it and get rid of it. Just recall to your mind. You don't have to do that meditation. Recall to your mind, these are bad things. I try to get rid of them. Yesterday meditation. So you become obedient. When you become obedient, you become gentle. So that bodily, you can see this rudeness. You are talking about impoliteness. You are removing. And the verbal impoliteness, you are removing. And then you become gentle, humble. From the gentleness, you become humble. So when you become humble, then you can control your senses. Remember, because you are humble, means you have a less taint of views. Therefore, you have a less taint of sensual desire. Now, no two people are hitting me. It is only one. Because inside me, no one is telling me to have a look. So I can control my eye, ear, and so on. So you control it, controlling the senses. And then here you become, remember my example, that how I walk in this lake area, or else that you can take that Gatha from that Buddha was talking about this Kayana Samvaro Sadhu, controlling this body, the restraining of faculties, Kayana Samvaro Sadhu, restraining your verbal conduct, bad conduct, and the restraining this mind, then all those things are good. So from controlling the senses, you become prudent. And now you are not saying king and myself are equal. You are not going to put yourself up because you know both are suffering. So the appagabbo, the courteousness is there. So the mental impoliteness is gone. Now you are not saying that you are going to hanker after association with families. So kulesu ananugiddo, not hanker after association with families. This one is related to this feeling because you are holding to the feeling. So if you are not doing that now, then you are not hankering after association with families. And then you are actually spreading the loving kindness because now you have the 8th skill state of the mind. You are qualified to spread the loving kindness. So now you can say, may all beings be happy because you don't have verbal misconduct. You are not shouting at anyone. So you can say, let you be well. You are not killing. Now he is spreading the loving kindness. You see the sample. The little ones, big ones, and so on. So they are all dying. So your arrogance is gone about this, about the permanency. So that arrogance is gone. Now then that person is spreading the loving kindness and this anger. In anger, let him not wish another ill. Because you saw the sample of death. So there is no permanency. Since there is no permanency, anger is removed. Therefore, you can spread the loving kindness. You don't have anger will be wiped out here. When the anger is removed, then you see the ill will, the element of ill will over there. So now he is saying, in ill will, let him not wish another ill. So now we come to the eighth and ninth skill state of the mind. Ninth skill state of the mind. So the ill will is now gone as well. Now ill will is gone, then envy will be gone as well with it. And now he is spreading the loving kindness like the mother, with the purified, the verbal, mental and physical actions to the entire world. This person is now spreading the loving kindness. Likewise, you are spreading the loving kindness above, below and so on, Akinita Brahma realm and the hells and so on. And then he got the mindfulness. Wherever he is walking, standing and so on, he got the mindfulness that I am a person with the purified, the mental, verbal and physical actions, that I spread the loving kindness to the entire world. That is Brahma Metta, noble living. And then the last one, Dittincha Anupagamma Silavam, Dassanin Sampanno. That is not falling into wrong views, being virtuous. Now, along the way you saw that the number 9 is a bad thing to hanker after associate families. That's why, we understand now why it is wrong to say that let I be well. So we need to get rid of that one, because when I say let I be well, that means I am hanker after associating with families. So when you saw those things, now you are going to make your virtue thorough. So you want to have the 10 skill state of the mind included in your virtue. So I am not going to have the killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, which we started with the upright. And I am not going to have lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks and slander. Again we started with that one in number 1. And then along the way, we got rid of this wrong view and then also ill will. So what is left now is the covetousness. Having seen something, let this be mine. Now how do I get that one? Because I am not discarding the lust in the senses. So lust in the senses discarded, number 14. Then you are saying, I am not going to go inside that canal of urine and excrement. So that is this Metta Sutta, spreading the loving kindness. So even if you can't go up to 15, it would be really good if you can go up to 15. At least go up to 7 and then start spreading the loving kindness. So if you can go to up to 15. So that is the meditation. So let us take 10 or 15 minutes break so that you can take this one to your mind, and then we will do the meditation.